Hey, welcome back everyone. This is Uncle Frank, and I am not a financial advisor, nor is any of the content to be construed as financial advice. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, guys, let's kick it off by checking where we're at on the year-to-dates as of Friday. Exec sum, S&P 500 up 18.8% for the year. The Dow only 9.2%. Nasdaq 21.1. Russell 2000, the small caps 10.2. As of Friday, Bitcoin 64,129. That's up 46.7% year to date. Ethereum only 17.7%. Must have lost some ground. Gold 25,4870, up 23% for 2024. Oil just under 75 at 74.96, up 4.5%. And the 10-year Treasury now stands at 3.795, losing 14.5 basis points for the year. Okay, U.S. stocks surged on Friday after Jay Powell indicated rate cuts are on the horizon. All three major indexes posted winning weeks. Markets now see a 33% chance of a 50 basis point September rate cut and a 67% chance of a quarter point cut. Canada's TSX index advanced to a new all-time high. Europe's Stock 600 index rose to its highest level in 3 weeks. This goes out to CSI. The pound rose to the highest since March of 2022 versus the dollar, and the Singapore dollar rose to a 10-year high on hawkish policy outlook. Okay, let's get ready for the week. Monday, August 26th, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, durable goods orders. Then Tuesday, 10 a.m., consumer confidence. But Wednesday, NVIDIA earnings after the bell. All eyes on that one. Thursday, 8:30, initial jobless claims and 2Q GDP revisions. But another big one on Friday, August 30th, 8:30 a.m., we'll see personal income and spending, but the entire PCE data group, the Fed's favorite, I absolutely love that they're dropping this one on options expiration Friday on the last trading day of the month, just ahead of the 3-day Labor Day weekend. This has the potential to be an atomic week for the markets. Okay, looking ahead for big items to add to your calendar, the U.S. markets will be closed on Monday, September 2nd for Labor Day. It's not confirmed, but GameStop could drop earnings around September 4th, according to NASDAQ. And maybe Ryan Cohen will finally tell us what he plans to do with that $4 billion he's sitting on. We know from a recent tweet that Ryan is on the hunt for top product and graphic designers. September 12th, the Usher concert drops only at AMC. We are only 23 days to the second day of the September 17th and 18th Fed meeting, where we currently expect to get our first rate cut. But that same week, Friday, September 20th, is the third quadruple witching date of the year. Friday, December 20th will be the last one. September 30th marks the end of the third quarter, a vital date for AMC fans. While it hasn't been announced, I currently forecast AMC third Q 2024 earnings to be released around November 13th, and I also believe it will be better than last year's Q3, which was the best in our 100-plus year history. October 22nd to 24th is the BRICS Summit. We are only 71 days to the November 5th election, which will be immediately followed by the November 6th and 7th Fed meeting. December 17th and 18th will be the last FOMC meeting for the year. We are 147 days from inaugurating a new president, January 20th, which means if Trump is elected, Gary Gensler is scheduled to be fired the following day. But now for my number one pick. So this article dropped on Sunday, and I wanted to share some key points with you. Should you buy Archer Aviation while it's below 5? By Courtney Carlson from The Motley Fool. Well, Archer Aviation is actually below 4 right now. Key points of the article: Archer is one of the leading companies developing electric vertical and takeoff landing aircraft, or eVTOLs. These vehicles, known as flying taxis, have the potential to change urban transportation as we know it. Morgan Stanley projects the urban air mobility market could reach 1 trillion by 2040. So, Uncle Frank, how can it actually change urban transportation as we know it? What will that look like? Well, let me give you an example. Archer announces planned San Francisco Air Mobility Network connecting 5 locations across the Bay Area. This is Kilroy Oyster Point, South San Francisco's premier waterfront campus, targeted as a critical hub in the network, right? So, on your screen is a rendering of Kilroy Oyster Point featuring a proposed Archer Sea Portal mobility hub. But we need to zoom in for you to fully appreciate this. Okay, now that's better. This is a rendering of Kilroy and Archer's proposed Sea Portal waterfront hub for Archer's eVTOL aircraft and electric ferry operations in the South San Francisco Oyster Point area. Guys, I don't know if you know any tech people in San Francisco, but they're going to eat this up with a spoon. I predict these will be booked for years ahead. So this is a waterborne electric ferry that can move eVTOL launch pads around. This is what I mean by changing urban transportation. You can see a red arrow with a midnight preparing to land, and the only change I would make to this rendering is by the white arrow. We're going to need some railings on this gangplank because, you know, stupid people are going to fall in the water and everybody will get sued. But other than that, this is amazing to me. And this is just one mobility hub example. If you subscribe to my channel by now, you've seen this map. It's a visual representation of Archer's anticipated Bay Area UAM network connecting Oyster Point, South San Francisco with San Jose, Oakland, Napa, and Livermore. I will never get tired of saying you can fly a midnight from San Jose to South San Francisco in 10 minutes instead of driving an hour and 15 minutes. I really believe this service has the capacity to become one of the rarest things in business, an adverb. You know how you say, I'm going to Google it or I'm going to Uber downtown? Yes, I believe people may Archer to Napa Valley from Oakland in 12 minutes one day instead of driving 1 hour and 20 minutes. Think about it. But guys, there's so much more potential here than you may imagine. Archer makes plans for air taxi bases in New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and San Francisco. Now, I want you to imagine you're in your Tesla. You're enjoying an upside-down caramel macchiato and a kale stick. You're driving to a parking facility 30 miles from the airport. You pull up your phone app, reserve your eVTOL flight and parking space. You arrive at the parking facility, jump out of your Tesla, it drives itself to the next available parking space. You head to the gate for your quick flight to the airport. When you return from your trip, your Tesla is fully charged and it even passes through a touchless spray wash and you head on your way. That's right, you're going to Archer to the airport, baby. Now let's go back to Courtney Carlson's piece from The Motley Fool. Archer Aviation has hit some key milestones with its midnight aircraft. Is now the time to buy? Imagine a world where you can jump into a flying taxi and avoid the traffic gridlock below to reach your destination. Although this idea sounds like something out of science fiction, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, also known as flying taxis, could be coming to a city near you. Flying taxis could change urban transportation as we know it, and Archer Aviation is one company looking to make it a reality. Its midnight aircraft has met several key milestones as it works toward commercial operations. Most recently, Archer delivered its first aircraft to the U.S. Air Force and got a boost when Stellantis invested tens of millions more into the eVTOL company. Despite the news, Archer Aviation stock trades below $5 per share, actually $4 per share. Is now the time for investors to get in? So ask yourself, why is the military interested in these aircraft? Quote, investors got more good news when Archer Aviation recently delivered its first Midnight aircraft to the U.S. Air Force. The U.S. Department of Defense accepted its military airworthiness assessment, and the aircraft is ready for flight testing as part of its AF Works Agility Prime contract worth up to $142 million. As part of the assessment, the government will test and validate the aircraft's operational and military-specific mission concepts, such as simulated medical evacuation, cargo, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance flights. Think about it, guys. This thing would make one hell of an ambulance, with a pilot or without. So let's drill down a little more on funding and new business for Archer. The past few months have had some exciting news for Archer Aviation. In early July, Stellantis, a big backer of Archer, invested another $50 million in the company following its successful transition flight in June. Guys, when the company that manufactures your product invests millions to scale you up, that's a vote of confidence. They're putting their money behind the project, not investment advice or advisor. As part of this test, Archer's Midnight eVTOL reached flight speeds of over 100 miles per hour and successfully transitioned from hover to wing-borne flight. Following the successful test, Future Flight Global agreed to purchase 116 of Archer's Midnight aircraft in a deal worth $580 million. That's over $500 million for those of you keeping track. Future Flight Global's goal is to launch air taxi services across the globe, including Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. The agreement has nearly $5 million in pre-delivery payments, and Archer's indicative order book now stands at around $6 billion. That's a company with a $1 billion market cap, but a $6 billion order book. So Courtney continues, what's next for Archer? Archer is making solid progress, hitting key milestones, getting investments from Stellantis, and delivering on contracts with the federal government. However, the company is still in the early stages of its growth story and is in pre-revenue and pre-commercial operations, so there remains a fairly significant amount of execution risk. Any hiccups or delays in testing or the manufacturing of its aircraft could affect its timelines and timing of future cash flows. All true statements, but so is this from Zag Daily 48 hours ago. Archer raises $220 million, bringing total funding to $1.5 billion. Courtney is correct and states it will take time for Archer to scale up to commercial operations. The company is currently constructing a 350,000 square foot facility in Georgia that could produce up to 650 aircraft annually. It says it's on track to complete this construction later this year. The company also hopes to achieve type certification on its Midnight aircraft in late 2025, which would pave the way for it to launch its commercial operations. It recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Southwest Airlines to develop operational plans for electric car taxi networks at California airports and has plans for a Los Angeles air mobility network with its goal to begin network operations by 2026. All true, guys. This could take some time. But when it comes to the stock, I started buying it again when it dropped to $3, and I saw retail defend that price. It ran to $5 and retraced down again. Speaking only for myself, I will continue to buy the stock on dips, and it's also on my list to buy if there's a stock market correction. So Courtney wraps by saying Archer Aviation is an exciting company that could make an entirely new method of transportation mainstream. The upside is huge, with Morgan Stanley projecting the urban air mobility market could reach $1 trillion by 2040. However, it is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward stock. the stock will continue to face volatility as long as Archer is pre-revenue and years away from turning a profit. This makes the stock suitable for investors with a high tolerance for risk and a long-term investing horizon. Even so, if you choose to buy it, make sure it's part of a balanced portfolio and don't risk more than you're willing to lose. All sound and solid advice from Courtney. So here's the daily chart on Archer going back 4 years. I added a blue horizontal line so you can see where we are right now. At 382, we are below the 50-day moving average of 402 and below the 200-day at 4.66. I'm seeing significant support to the downside at 3, and as I said, if we experience a crash, this stock is on my list to buy at panic prices. But if the 50-day can overtake the 200-day again, we could break out to the upside, which is what I'm here for. The last time we got a golden cross on this stock, we moved from under 3 to over 7. I put a yellow arrow on the chart showing the cross. At the time of this recording, we are only 64 cents away from that potential signal. At the time of this recording, I see 100,000 shares available to lend in short at a cost to borrow fee of $18.37. I've got Max Pain at $4 for the August 30th expiration. Now, this is not investment advice. I am not an investment advisor. I will never recommend you buy, sell, or hold any security or cryptocurrency. But speaking only for myself, as a summary, this is a billion-dollar company with a $6 billion order book. The insiders own just under 35% of the shares outstanding. Institutions own just under 50%. And the dumbass predatory short hedge funds are currently short about 30% of the float. I like those numbers. Hey, I want to thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button after this slide if you enjoyed the presentation. Subscribe to the channel and set the alert so you're notified when I have new information to share. See you at the bell.